Hello everyone, welcome to my presentations. My name is Bao. Today I will introduce about the Microsoft Institute projects. This is the presentation outline. There are four parts for this presentation. The first part is introductions of the corporation, and in the next part I will discuss the development of Microsoft. And in the third will be products and management style, and the last part of today's presentation will talk about the failures and risks of Microsoft. So at first I will discuss about introductions. As you can see on the screen, there are two founders of Microsoft. They are Bill Gates and Paul Allen. While Bill Gates is 65 years old in this year, and Paul Allen passed away in 2018. We are too familiar with these two best friends in childhood. Before Paul Allen and Bill Gates become co-founder Microsoft, they were two people with a burning passion for computer in an era when technologies were difficult to access. And in 1973, Gates came to Harvard University as a student. However, Gates' love never left him as he spent most of his time at Harvard's Computer Center, where he could improve his programming skill. And soon after, Allen also moved on to Boston to work as a programmer, and he forced Gates to leave Harvard University so they could spend on time for their projects together. Microsoft is one of the most valuable companies in the world. With the billion USD, the company has to go through many ups and downs in order to achieve its current success. So let's learn the development history of this technological empire through my video. In January in 1975, Gates called MITS, the maker of the Altair, to offer to use his service to write a version of the new basic programming language for. And after 8 weeks, Allen and Gates demonstrated their program to MITS, and the company agreed to distribute the market the products under the Altair basic name. The deal inspired Gates and Allen to start their own software companies. From here, Microsoft was founded on April in 1975 in New Mexico, the hometown of MITS, with the first CEO was Bill Gates. You might not know that the name of Microsoft is combinations of the word microcomputer and the software. This name was registered with the Secretary of the State of New Mexico in 1978. In the next two slides, I will introduce you to the history of Microsoft formations over the years. Because this information is too long, so I cannot talk during these two slides, so you can stop the video to watch this slide. This is the first slide in the period 1975 to 2001, and this is the 2007 to 2019, and in 2018 YouGov just conduct a survey called Brand Index. This survey interviewed thousands of consumers every day to track a brand's popularity not only over a extended period of time, but quickly and daily. Recent company statistics show that Microsoft's popularity has reached its highest level since 2018 and beyond. The group of users between age of 18 and 35 in the group, a group with the highest and clearest interest growth rate 44 point by Microsoft, much higher than the 35 points they assigned in 2017. Microsoft reversing in a group seem to be opposite of what many people think. When talking about the young generation, we often thinking that they will only care about iPads, iPhones, and fashion brands. There are some Microsoft products after many years of work. There are Microsoft work we can mention the Windows. In 1983, Microsoft achieved well announced the Microsoft Windows operating system with novel graphical user interface and multitasking environment to IBM computer. And by 1986, the company was this success, meaning that Gates became a billionaire at the age of 31. In 1989, a software package for the collections of programs used in Microsoft Office were released, and they are still in use today and include some professor spreadsheets, mail program, business presentation software, and more. And in 2001, Microsoft introduced the Xbox system. It is the first gaming device. At the moment, Xbox faced stiff competition from Sony's PlayStation. In the end, Microsoft had to stop offering the original Xbox in order to switch to a later versions, and until in 2005, Microsoft successfully released the Xbox 360 game console. And the next part is the part that has a lot of things for us to learn, which is Microsoft management style. Bill Gates is highly regarded in the business world of ranking in the top 10 most admired business leaders. Before retiring from the Microsoft in 2008, Gates was known as a demanding boss who encouraged the creativity and innovations and recognized individual and collective achievement. Gates will ask his employees to present and report their ideas and finding to him on a regular basis. During this meeting, he frequently interjected to ask and challenge the facts and assumptions. Bill Gates' leader style is authoritarian. However, most leaders, including Gates, is a bit more than one leadership style. Different leadership styles can be applied depending on the situations, but not leaders have one or two dominant styles get the most attention. It's unlikely that Gates would have been as successful as he was if he had only adopted an authoritarian style. And coming to the human factor, Microsoft company tries to hire people who are very smart or wise, depending on how each person understands those two words. The norm is right here. People in the top of 5% of information of the best work backwards in their field. As Microsoft, you have to be smart to be successful. Smart people just want to work with smart people. Yes, and the employees at Microsoft have to be really good people, because then they will have to work with people who are also very intelligent. One of the interesting things is that working at accept to Microsoft. Maybe someone is already proud to be a talent, but not an must be used to make up to. Every 6 months, everyone has to go through the performance review. Such evaluations will show a person who lags behind the companies and what if the results are certain will be. The evaluations results will directly affect your job promotions, salaries, number of shares distributed. And to summarize, to work at Microsoft, you must be an intelligent person, always know how to devote your best and talent to the corporation works, and in return, you are also worthy of being met. And as Microsoft, your workplace is also your home. Your workplace is also your home. Since, since the company's early day, Bill Gates and Paul Allen have made their working style the, the standard of Microsoft. They want to make the employee as comfortable, productive, and happy positive at work. You look at family, people design their home to be a place where they feel most comfortable and enjoyable. They design the family, so they design the family office to be a place that's convenient, easy to work with, easy to achieve. Microsoft allow all full-time employees to have their office, and those who work or interns they share an office instead of separate rooms for each person. Indeed, everyone has their own private space. Employees have a right to create their own per- perfect working environment. They can customize their office to meet the, their special needs. Yes. And there is no dress code at Microsoft. Instead of the suits and tie you see as a other company, as Microsoft during the summer, you can see the blazer, t-shirts, and everything else. Likewise, the company's Micronews has an announcement that barefoot everywhere is acceptable, even when entering a cafe. In short, what you wear to work from home, employees are likely to wear the same way at work. Although I haven't seen anyone wear a swimwear to work, that should be accepted in Microsoft. Yes. And next is one thing that I like very much, which is always saving money and time, despite being the richest company in the world, with the chairman who is the richest person of the planet and a company willing to spend up to 3 to 4 billion dollars a year on research and development. But what seems to be opposite is that Microsoft and Bill Gates have already considered saving as a matter of principle with the concept that saving is the company's responsibility for investor confidence in Microsoft. And saving is a maximum reduction of on unnecessary costs which do not bring parties way, and saving as a fundamental philosophy to stay competitive. With strict management methods, saving is only meant work. Any wasteful lavish spending will erode economic potential, provide a return on investment and a long-term development. There is a saying goes as everything saying is saving of time. Bill Gates always pays attention to saving his most precious resource, and he considers the efficiency to use his time the most important secret of his success. And in the next slide, although they are very successful in business, they cannot avoid failure in their business. One of the failed Microsoft products, yes, impressed me the most were Windows phones. When this is smartphone was released, I remember that my friend who our it worked on Ricky at that time, and here we have three failed Microsoft products: um, Windows Phone, Windows 8, and Windows RT. Windows Phone is by no means a bad operating system. In fact, it has earned considerable reputation for its unique design, fast bits, lots of customization, and cool features like leave titles. Win- Windows Phone device, most notably the Nokia Lumia series, are priced for their screen color, camera, and low price. But Microsoft efforts were too little and too late, as iPhone and Android phones dominated the mobile market. Microsoft struggled to attract device makers and app developers to the Windows Phone ecosystem. Retailers and carriers have failed to boost their market for phone Windows device or iOS and Android. As a result, customers don't see compelling reasons why they should choose a Windows Phone device. As I learned, Microsoft underestimates Google, especially when the search engine can't play a trick by blocking Windows Phone access to popular apps like YouTube, Google Maps. Not to mention, Microsoft is also quite conversant in the experiencing like an Android platform. So in 2014, when the most mobile users were already filming established the system in the iOS or Android ecosystem, no one left. Motivation to try another platform, and Microsoft tried to buy the Lumia products like from Nokia as a late attempt to try to grab first place in the mobile space, but the company continued to see it as a tiny market that shrinks, forcing to retire in 2017. Since then, Microsoft had turned to focus on creating apps and services for iOS and Android. After achieving success with Windows 7, Microsoft tried something different with its next operating system update in 2010, realizing that people were no longer working solely on personal computers. The company tried to create a new version of Windows that were hybrid between PCs and the tablet. But here is the problem. In trying to please everyone, who Windows 8 has become the unpopular way in an attempt to become more tablet friendly, and Windows 8 has failed to appeal to the desktop user who are still more comfortable with the standard with the start menu, desktop, and other features. Another another familiar feature of the Windows 7 and Windows 8 also provides too eager to change its style instead of slowly redirecting users to a new way of working. Microsoft rolled out a series of sudden changes all at once. There is no longer a start button. The start menu has been replaced with a start screen. The new desktop mode is hard to use, and the shortcuts are not intuitive, and the annoyance of new systems are the old control panels. Users who are used to Windows 7 now suddenly don't know where to go or what to do to perform familiar tasks in Windows 8, and consumers don't have interesting opportunities to learn the new things, and maybe business don't have the time or money to train employees on a different operating system. In the end, Windows 8 failed on the whole, with pro consumers and corporations customers. As if Windows 8 itself was enough on our value, Microsoft introduced a new version of its Windows operating system alongside its aim at the low-end tablet and similar device market, designed for the 32-bit ARM architecture. Windows RT was an attempt to deliver a light version of Windows that didn't require power from the CPU. At the time, Apple's ARM-based iPad was gaining traction, so Microsoft needed a combating operation system and device in the form of Surface RT tablet. Thus, in designing Windows RT, Microsoft once again failed because it didn't properly and sufficiently address the needs of customers. At first, Windows RT make it difficult for users to run the applications they love, because beyond the core built-in apps, the new operating system exploits users only to limited apps download from the Windows Store with a very little software selections. Windows RT also offers a desktop mode, but limited to certain Microsoft applications such as Office and Internet Explorer. You can't install a third-party program like on the desktop, for example, Adobe Photoshop. And not to mention the experience of using touchscreen with the traditional Office application is also a torture. Introducing Windows 8 and Windows RT at the same time were also one of Microsoft's biggest mistakes, because I think that customers have had hard time to try to figure out the difference between the two types of operating system, and Microsoft has been too poor in trying to explain the advantage of one over the other, and the several vendors had to try to launch tablet device running Windows RT, but with little success, especially when competition are low-cost Windows 8 tablet and iPads. Microsoft Surface RT tablet also straight into life, forcing the company to swallow bitter with $900 million worth of inventory. The last Windows RT tablet model was the Nokia Lumia, sold by Microsoft after buying Nokia Lumia production line, but in 2015, Microsoft also withdrew this product line on the market, officially putting an end to Windows RT. So, and that's on my presentations. Thank you for watching.